The folks at Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs of the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up. And Dawn Sims, a third-generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class. I say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America. That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is brighter. It's because of you.
All right, Sean, a lot of hard-hitting points.
And he was loud and he made his points clear. There were no fumbles.
And I think without wasting any time, started right off with what's happening in Ukraine.
And
I think the biggest highlight of this was saying that he will restore Roe v. Wade. If he is elected, he will make that the law of the land, talking about the power of women, how they are not without electoral powers. And he just also did say that justices, you're going to see how wrong you were about that. So I think that was
he's making all the right points, and it is quote unquote, we will not walk away, we will not bow down, I will not bow down. It is a very clear message, of course, jumping right on to Putin. Within 2 minutes of the starting address, he was right on to the Russia-Ukraine.
And Shivan, you were right. He did not name Donald Trump anywhere.
He mentioned Putin. He didn't mention Trump.
Right, but he kept saying that his predecessor, and he spoke about what he said to Putin as well. Do whatever you want to, and spoke about how that was just unacceptable and just outrageous.
And of course, a standing ovation for Finland and Sweden, which is just Sweden being the latest entrant into the NATO bloc. And that drew a round of applause. Of course, we saw a lot of applause from Kamala Harris sitting right behind him, and Mike Johnson not at all surprised or not at all impressed either, sitting right behind him.
And of course, so more on this, we're now being joined live by correspondent Susan Tehrani. Susan, thank you so much for joining us. Many hard-hitting points right there, Susan. What would you say were some of your biggest key takeaways from the speech so far? Of course, Shivan and I, we mentioned the Ukraine aid, Roe v. Wade. What can you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. We were listening together, and I think it's going to be shocking for a lot of Americans who are weary about the war in Ukraine and America's involvement and the money that's being sent there without accountability, that the president decided to start with a foreign policy issue. You know, the country is in a very dark place right now, economically, with the border crisis, and generally the mood of the country and these wars abroad. So, you know, we'll have to see how that's going to be received by the American people. But you're absolutely right. It was a lot of hard-hitting issues. He's very fired up. But he did talk about the economy and the achievements of this administration. And I think that's where he's also going to get some pushback, considering the fact that he said inflation is down, the economy is doing better. We came out of COVID a lot stronger. The average American family right now pays about over $11,000 more every year just on essentials. So it's hard to see how that's going to resonate with the American public. But as you saw and as we watched together, his own base is really taking in this speech as a success.
Right. Of course, Susan, as you mentioned, a bold choice there to start with a foreign policy issue when, of course, on the domestic front, there are a lot of issues as well. We'll, of course, continue to bring you all of the developments on that front. Susan, thank you so much for joining us with the latest on this.